Magdalene's blog 42. Johannes was pushed and punched by several pairs of hands out of the door that was then barred, leaving me alone to face horror. "You should be killed," it said, "but maybe you will wish to die and no one will bother to try to stop you." I backed off, but only into the table. The others had crowded around either side of me. Trying to recoil away, back inside of myself was the only way to go. There was no reasoning with this Magus, no empathy to be had of any kind I would wish for. "Instead, we will give you what you want," he continued mockingly. "7 times over you will get to know the spirits. This is our kindness to you. We shall see how you can cope with that." He paused dramatically to let it sink in, then barked, "Gag her and hold her arms." Everything he said and did was a desecration of what I held dear. Inside of myself I recoiled and recoiled again, down corridors of mind and soul to a place where this would not be happening. I could not change what they did to me, brutal and vile, or what that brought, but my memory of it is like watching it happen, as if to another person, mercifully detached. The Magus made what preparations he deemed necessary. The shutters were closed, circles drawn, and powers invoked. I was held face down over the end of the table, and my skirts pulled up over my head. Then each of the groups sodomized me in turn. The monstrous Magus took the lead. With demonic laughter, he was calling on the spirits by their names to come and take possession of me. To my watching mind soul, he looked like the devil himself, and his followers the attendant demons. My body felt the invasion of lust and pain, and I the jeopardy to my soul. My heart cried out to the Almighty for shelter, and my mind to the Goddess for vengeance against my attackers. Spirits entered me. I knew they had as surely as I felt the seed of these demons enter me, but not in the same way. My watching mind saw the features of the perpetrators twist horribly as the spirit forms passed through them. At last, the Magus had had his fill of hate and lust and everything else he conjured for my defilement. They pulled me up from the table, and I felt my spirit mind jerk back into my poor abused body. Only for a moment, for I lost consciousness completely. When I came to, I found I was lying in a ditch some way from Johannes's building. Hands were pulling me again, and I struggled against them. As I tried to cry out, other things were pulling up my mind. Inside and out, I was in turmoil. "Mary, Mary!" Someone seemed to be shouting what I knew was my name. I tried to look to see where the call was coming from, but I found the way blocked by that which was pulling at me. Eventually, some semblance of normality returned to my brain. I recognized that it was Johannes, both the voice and the hands. Images were flooding back into me, disjointed and awful, but the presence of Johannes was important as well. I stopped struggling against him and let him help me regain my feet. "What have they done to you? What have they done?" He looked almost as distressed as I felt. My mouth was like a pipe blocked with rubbish and filth. It refused to open to let the words out. This was something that had been done to me as well, I knew. I couldn't tell Johannes what had happened. Then I knew there was another thing to do, to say, and I found the words that would come at last. "You must fly. Get away from here, as far from them as you can. He is a devil, evil. You must escape. You do not deserve. You do not. Get away." Johannes had put an arm around me, and inside I felt my mind getting pulled aside by other spirit forces. Confusion was fast overtaking me. "But what did they do to you, Mary?" Johannes asked again, even as he half turned away, undecided what he should do. Come with me. I shall look after you. Come on. You're in no state to be alone. One last effort welled up from my heart. One word that was like a build-up of flood water behind a blockage. Neither the Magus's spell nor the devil spirits in me could in the end deny it. Abominated! Abominated! I cried with all my strength again and again. And it was from some other place that I watched as Johannes turned to flee the woman who was flailing around with the strength of someone 7 times possessed.